Hello, dear students. Today I wish to discuss about the unit analysis of war as part 2. In this video, particularly, I am going to discuss about the analysis of iron ore. In this topic, first of all, we need to know where the iron ore comes from. Generally, iron ore is available in earth crust as three types. They are oxide ore, sulfide ore, and silicate ore. So we can get the iron ore from the earth crust in these three forms. Of course, oxide ore example hematite and magnesite. Here you can able to observe the pictures of or images of hematite and magnesite, and this is related to iron sulfide ore, and this is the image of iron silicate ore. In this image you can able to observe the mining of iron ore. So this is the iron ore which comes from the earth crust as oxide, sulfide, and ore and silicate ore. According to our syllabus, we need to estimate the constituents which are present in iron ore. If you wanted to analyze the sample to know the constituents, there are two types of analysis we already know, qualitative and quantitative. But here, quantitative analysis is very important. So, if you wanted to analyze the sample, as you know, there are some stages involved. In the previous class, we already discussed about those stages which are involved in the analysis of any composite material. The first stage is sampling of iron ore. As the iron ore is solid, if you wanted to analyze the constituents which are inserted or present in iron ore, first of all you need to dissolve the iron ore. So, second stage is dissolution of iron ore, and the last stage in the analysis of iron ore is estimation of constituents in iron ore. Try to understand here, constituents means the different components which are present in iron ore, like the iron ore contains many materials like iron, aluminum, manganese, magnesium, etc., in small quantities. So they are all called as the constituents. Not only in iron ore, if you take any composite material, then that particular material contains so many components and constituents in it. In this picture, you can observe the iron ore sampling process. So, after taking the iron ore from the mine or quarry by using the instrument like this, so you need to divide the sample by using this sample divider. After that, you need to collect the divided samples. The last stage is for sample analysis. As you know, the first stage of the analysis is iron sampling of iron ore. Let us discuss about this first stage, that is sampling of iron ore. Generally, this is the image which gives the information about the person who is sampling the iron ore from the lot, iron ore lot. After getting this sample, you need to go through any of two methods like coning and quartering method and long pile shovel method. You can prepare the sample about 50 gram, which will represent the sample of iron ore. I think you know the iron ore contains so many constituents in it. The sample material which represents the entire constituents for analysis is called as representative sample. ఏ శాంపిల్లో అయితే ఆ టోటల్ ఐరన్ ఓర్ లాట్లో ఉన్న కన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్స్ అన్నీ ఉంటాయో ఆ శాంపిల్ని రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ శాంపిల్ అంటారు. అందుకే ఒక శాంప్లింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు డిఫరెంట్ పార్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద లాట్ నుంచి శాంపిల్ని తీసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇక్కడి నుంచి కొంత శాంపిల్, ఇక్కడి నుంచి కొంత శాంపిల్, ఇక్కడి నుంచి కొంత శాంపిల్, ఇక్కడి నుంచి కొంత శాంపిల్, అట్లా డిఫరెంట్ ప్లేసెస్ నుంచి శాంపిల్ని కలెక్ట్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దట్ అన్ని ప్లేసెస్లో ఉన్న మెటీరియల్స్ అన్నీ కూడా తీసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దట్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ sampling. Okay, after collecting the sample, you can use coning and quartering method. We already discussed about this coning and quartering method. you need to reduce the sample size, that is 50 gram. After that, the sample is dried and grinded to 100 mesh size. Means, so as you can observe here, this is not a powder. So that is the reason why, for our convenience in analysis, you need to grind the sample. After grinding the sample, you need to sieve the powder having the particle size 100 mesh. I think you know very well, that is a sieve. Sieve is nothing but in our Telugu language it is called jalleda. Okay, right. So this is called a sieve having the mesh size. So this particular part is called the size of the mesh. So according to the size of the mesh, you can separate the grinded sample. So the sample is kept in airtight bottle after getting this 100 mesh size. Why should you keep it in airtight bottle? Why? Because generally the metals can react easily with atmospheric oxygen to produce their oxides. To prevent that, you need to store the sample, that is the representative sample, in airtight bottle. This is about the sampling of iron ore. The second stage involved in the iron ore analysis is dissolution of iron ore. As the iron ore is a solid material, for analysis of different constituents, the solid material must be converted into dissolved state. That is the reason why we need to go through this second stage, that is called dissolution. As we discussed earlier, the iron ore is in the form of oxide ore, sulfide ore, and silica ore. We have different dissolution methods for this. First of all, let us learn how to dissolve the iron oxide ore. Simple. Take a 0.5 gram of iron ore sample into this conical flask. After that, add 10 ml concentrated HCl to this. Then automatically the sample will be dissolved in this concentrated HCl. If you boil it for 10 minutes, after that dilute with water Then any solid material is there. That solid material is nothing but silica, which is in the form of a precipitate called residue. By using filtration process, you can separate that solid material, that is silica, which is used to estimate silica in iron ore. Simple process. Take 0.5 gram of ore into a conical flask. Add 10 ml of concentrated HCl. Heat it for 10 minutes. So this is the heating symbol. Heat it for 10 minutes. Next boil it. Dilute with water. Then filter. Okay. This is the dissolution process of iron oxide ore. As you know, the iron oxide, hematite and magnetite images. The next form of iron ore is sulfide ore. If the iron ore is sulfide in the form of sulfide ore, then simply take 0.5 gram of ore and it must be roasted in porcelain crucible until it completely oxidized to sulfite ore. Sulfide ore must be roasted in porcelain crucible until it is converted into sulfite ore. After that, you need to add concentrated HCl solution. Then automatically that ore will be dissolved in concentrated HCl solution. Okay. Next, if the iron ore is silica ore, then here you need to use a method called fusion method. So in this fusion method, you need to take the iron ore and then add a fusion mixture like Na2CO3 or Na2O2 or potassium hydrogen sulfate. Whenever you add the Na2CO3 solid material to the iron ore and you combinedly heat that mixture, then the solid iron ore will be converted into the fused form of iron ore. Generally, iron ore is having the strongest bonds in its structure. If you add this sodium carbonate to this, combinedly heat these two, then because of this sodium carbonate, the bonds which are present in iron ore will be weakened so that it will form a material or a stage. It will be converted to a stage called fused form. So, after weakening of bonds present in iron ore, then you can easily dissolve the or break the bonds to make it in soluble state or dissolved state after the addition of any acid like concentrated HCl. So, if any undissolved material is there, then it is nothing but silica. So, in this silica ore dissolution, you need to use a technique called fusion technique. If you use this fusion technique, the insoluble silicates are converted into soluble silicates. Why? Because if you add sodium carbonate to it, as the iron ore is in silica ore, then these sodium ions can combine with this silica to produce sodium silicate. It is soluble one. If any residue is there, then the residue is used for the estimation of the silica. So instead of sodium silicate, you can use either sodium peroxide or potassium hydrogen sulfate as fusion mixture. After that, you can dissolve the material by using concentrated HCl. So this is iron silicate ore. Next step or final stage of analysis is the constituents analysis, estimation of constituents. Iron ore contains so many constituents in it, means different type of elements. Nearly 15 to 17 elements are there to be analyzed. They are moisture, loss on ignition, combined water, silica formula SiO2, total iron, ferrous iron, that is Fe2 plus, ferric iron, that is Fe3 plus, alumina formula Al2O3, next titania formula TiO2, next manganese, estimation of manganese is done as manganese oxide, that is MnO2, lime as CaO, magnesia formula MgO, and estimation of phosphorus as phosphorus pentoxide, estimation of sulfur in iron ore as barium sulfate. Next, estimation of alkalis. Alkalis, particularly here sodium and potassium as their chloride salts NaCl and KCl. Next, carbon in blast furnace, and the last one is flue dust and sinter. As it is the lengthy chapter, so in this video I will discuss these four constituents which are present in iron ore to analyze these constituents. What are the processes? In next videos, I will discuss remaining constituents. Keep it in mind, students. Iron ore analysis is very important according to your examination point of view. So in this same unit you have 4 more ores to be analyzed, but if you have a clear knowledge on this analysis of iron ore, then automatically remaining 4 ores which are inserted in your syllabus, like aluminum ore, that is bauxite analysis, next chromite ore analysis, etc., will be very easy to understand. Why? Because the estimation processes are same as iron ore. So that is the reason why I wish to discuss all these constituents analysis clearly. First constituent, that is moisture. How can you determine the percentage of moisture? Simple process. Just take 5 gram of iron ore sample in porcelain dish. This is the image of porcelain dish. Just take 5 gram of iron ore sample into it, then weigh the dish weight including the sample, let it be W1. After that, you need to heat the sample along with this porcelain dish at 105 degrees Celsius for 2 hours or to a constant weight. As you know, you need to analyze the moisture content. Moisture is nothing but the matter of water particles which are present in the sample. As you know, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. As we are using 105 degrees Celsius and heat for 2 hours or to constant weight is obtained, the entire moisture content which is present in the ore will be evaporated out. Hence, the weight of the substance will be decreased. So, after heating for 2 hours, you need to keep this porcelain dish which contains the sample in a desiccator. This is the desiccator to prevent the absorption of moisture again while cooling. You need to keep this dish into this desiccator. This is called desiccator. After that, take out this dish from this desiccator and weigh the sample weight along with the desiccator and let the crucible weight be W2. As the moisture evaporated out, the W1 is greater than W2. What is W1? It is the weight of the crucible with the sample. And what is W2? It is the weight of the sample along with crucible after the experiment, means after evaporation of the moisture content, so that W1 is greater than W2. Then W1 minus W2 will give the information about the moisture content which is present in the iron ore. So, if you wanted to calculate the percentage of moisture, then you can use this formula, which is loss in weight of sample due to loss of moisture by weight of sample into 100. So, with this formula, you can calculate the percentage of moisture. Okay, this is the process of determination of moisture. So, simply what should you do? Take 5 gram of sample into this porcelain dish, weigh it, let it be W1, and heat this dish for 2 hours at the temperature 105 degrees Celsius or to get constant weight. Then you can get the sample without moisture. After that, keep this porcelain dish along with the sample after experiment in a desiccator to cool. Then weigh the porcelain dish weight after taking from this desiccator, let it be W2. Then loss in weight of the sample, that is nothing but W1 minus W2 will give the amount of moisture present. As you wanted to calculate the percentage of moisture, then the formula is loss in weight of sample due to loss of moisture by weight of sample into 100. Why? Because as it is percentage moisture calculation. Next one is determination of loss on ignition. Here also almost same procedure, but instead of taking the sample in porcelain dish, you need to use here platinum crucible. Take 2 gram of sample, that is iron ore, into this platinum crucible. Then you need to ignite gently for 5 minutes at 500 degrees Celsius. After that, you need to ignite it at very high temperature, that is 1000 degrees Celsius, very strongly. Then automatically what happens? If any combustible matter is there in the iron ore, will be ignited, so that you can get the information about the loss on ignition. Try to understand. This is the iron ore, which is not a combustible material, but some of the constituents present in this iron ore maybe in the form of combustible matter, అంటే మండిపోయే పదార్థాలు, అంటే దహనం చెందే పదార్థాలు ఏమైనా ఉండొచ్చు. అలాంటి వాటిని రిమూవ్ చేయడానికి you need to ignite the sample. So determination of loss on ignition is also very important. So what should you do here? Take 2 gram of sample in platinum crucible, then ignite the sample initially at 500 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. After that, strongly ignite it at 1000 degrees Celsius. After that, you need to keep this platinum crucible after ignition of the sample into a desiccator, cool it. After that, take out the platinum crucible from the desiccator, weigh the platinum crucible. Then W1 is the initial weight of platinum crucible along with sample, and let W2 be the weight of platinum crucible after the experiment. So as there is a loss on ignition, W1 is greater than W2, so that W1 minus W2 will give the information about the loss on ignition, so that you can calculate the percentage of loss on ignition as loss of weight of the sample due to loss on ignition by weight of the sample into 100 will give the information about loss on ignition. Okay, let me conclude this. Take the sample into platinum crucible. First, ignite it gently at 500 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. After that, ignite the same sample strongly at 1000 degrees Celsius. After that, cool the sample in a desiccator. Next, calculate the percentage of loss on ignition. Third constituent analysis, that is determination of combined water. Combined water is nothing but the water is in combined state in iron ore. So if you wanted to get this combined ore or combined water in iron ore, you need to use an apparatus called combustion tube operator. Here you need to take the sample into a crucible. You need to insert it in a combustion tube which contains two openings. One opening is for oxygen passage, which is used for combustion, and another end will be connected to a tube which contains initially weighed CaCl2. Generally, the property of CaCl2 is it can absorb the H2O molecules. As you heat this material in the presence of oxygen, then the combined water will be comes out, as it is the closed one or closed apparatus that released combined water from the iron ore sample will goes through this bulb which contains CaCl2 in it. As CaCl2 can absorb the water molecules, after completion of the experiment, the weight of this CaCl2 bulb or tube will be increased. Let W1 be the initial weight of CaCl2 bulb before the experiment, and W2 be the final weight of the CaCl2 bulb after the completion of the experiment. As CaCl2 absorbs the water molecules, the weight of the final CaCl2 bulb, that is W2, is greater than W1. As you need to determine the combined water, here the increase in weight of the CaCl2 bulb by weight of the sample into 100. By using this formula, you can calculate the percentage of combined water. The final constituent to be discussed in this video is silica. Simply take the sample, that is iron ore sample, known amount of iron ore sample, into a platinum crucible and then add HCl to this. After that, just heat it for 5 minutes at the temperature 500 degrees Celsius. After that, strongly heat it at 900 degrees Celsius. The fused mass, why? Because you need to use a fusion mixture, either sodium carbonate or sodium peroxide or potassium hydrogen sulfate. That fused mass treated with 1:1 HCl. Any insoluble matter is there, then that silica as insoluble residue, it is filtered through an ashless filter paper and wash it with dilute HCl. Then the residue is ignited in silica crucible. This is the silica crucible, cooled in the desiccator and weighed. Then percentage of silica is equal to weight of the residue by weight of the sample into 100. Let me conclude it. So this is the gravimetric method for the determination of silica. Sample taken in the platinum crucible, fused with fusion mixture and add HCl solution. Along with that, you need to heat it for 500 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. After that, strongly heated to 900 degrees Celsius. Then the fused mass is treated with 1:1 HCl. Then silica remains insoluble as residue. That residue is ignited in silica crucible, cooled in a desiccator and weigh it. Then calculate the percentage of silica by using the formula weight of the residue, that is silica, by weight of the sample into 100. Okay. Finally, assignment question. But today's assignment question is, explain the sampling and dissolution process of iron ore. Just explain the sampling and dissolution process. Write this assignment question in daily question answer book. As I told you previously, my suggestion is maintain 8 notebooks for 4 papers. So for each paper you need to maintain 2 separate notebooks. For each paper, 2 separate notebooks. One is for daily question writing, that is daily assignment, and another one is for weekly assignment. So the combination of these two will give the material. So try to follow these videos and maintain the assignment question notes, daily assignment question notes, and weekly assignment question and answer notes, so that you can easily grab the knowledge. Thank you for your kind attention.